Okay, so in this video, I'm going to try to help you guys to learn how to navigate a blog. And I've got a few blog concepts I want to go over first, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go over them first, and then we're going to go reinforce them by looking at blogs. So, a blog has a basic web address. A web address can also be called a URL or a web link, perhaps. And here's an example: http://littleredschool.blogspot.com. Sometimes this part is hidden, and all you see is littleredschool.blogspot.com, but this part, the http:// can be assumed. So this is a basic blog address, okay? And if you have this top level of the blog, you should be able to find the posts on that blog. And so I'd like to talk about how you do that. All right, so blog posts within a blog have that main link plus extra details. So remember, we were talking about the top level of the blog this is not a blog post we're looking at. We're looking at the top level of the blog when we just look at this basic address here. But once we go and look at various posts, you know, like the little essays that the blogger has written on specific dates and they posted them on those specific dates, those are blog posts. And so normally what you're going to see is you'll see that main bottom link, that main basic foundational link there, and then you'll see some extra information like 2013, January 10th, the thing that thrills me.html. You'll see some extra stuff. So normally the way you can find each blog post has a title, and if you click on the title, it'll usually take you to the unique page for that post. So I'm going to show you that in just a minute. So again, a blog has just a basic top page. Each post each post can be on this main page, depending on how the blogger has it set up. But very often, you'll access a particular post also through a specific page. So it's easy to navigate. I'm hoping I'll show you that in a second. Okay. Usually, when you go to someone's blog, you can find a sort of month/year navigation widget. On Blogger, these are called the blog archive. On the side that will allow you to find older posts. That's not always the case. I made this video a few minutes ago and I went and selected a blog that's one of my favorites that did not have one of these things. It had a different kind of navigation where you search by keyword. And the other thing you can do on that particular blog was you just had to scroll down forever and it would let you do that. All of the posts were on one page if you just kept scrolling, going back like 4 years. And so that's one way to do it. But normally you're going to see a blog archive. So let's look at this little snapshot very quickly. We see that we've got 2010. There's 2 posts in 2010. One of the posts is called Costa Rica Day 1. The other one's called University of West Georgia Alma Mater. In 2009, this blogger made 7 posts. And if we were to click that little triangle, I forget what you call that, expanding triangle thing, it would show us a list of all those posts. In 2008, this blogger made 21 posts, and we could click the little triangle next to that and expand that, and all of these are hot clickable. So you could go down. In 2007, there was 1 post. So hopefully the blogs that you're on will have a blog archive. That's helpful. And in this class, there's not going to be a whole lot of blogs on that we need to read on a given blog, hopefully. So they should be pretty easy to find. But as with all things and with people, you know, you don't always know what you're going to get yourself into. So hopefully, hopefully you'll see a blog archive. But if you don't, then you can scroll down the page of the main blog, and the newer posts are going to be on the top, and the older on the bottom. And at some point you'll hit the second post and you'll hit the third post. And again, if it's the newer one, let's say we're at the end of this semester where you have 6 posts, then the session 6 post will be on the top. You keep scrolling down, then you'll hit session 5 post. You keep scrolling down, you'll hit session 4, and so on. So, and bottom line, you should only need the top link or the URL to a blog. So that, and then from there you can use the blog archive, or you can scroll down. And if you can't find a post, you might double check with the blogger, so with your fellow student. All right, so I'm going to put this document to the side. We're going to go illustrate all these concepts. First, that blogs have a basic web address. And let's just start with that. All right, so this is a blog. Let's see. why don't I go to this one? I'll go to this one. It's a simpler blog, and we want to deal with a simpler blog. This one's the one that won awards recently, but it's got a lot of information on it, so we're going to skip that one. All right, so the Gadabout. This was a blog that a friend of mine kept while she traveled the world for a year back in 2011. So we are actually on, if you look at this address, are we on the top level of the blog? Are we on the main blog page, or are we actually looking at a post? We are actually looking at a post. This is the main blog site right here. All this extra stuff means that we're actually on a specific post about breezing through Malawi. So to get to, what we want to do is get to the main blog. One way I can do that is I could highlight all this stuff and delete it and hit enter, and it would just take us here. Another thing that you can do on a blog usually is click on the title at the top. If the blogger has made a title, hopefully they have. And you can click that and see how it takes us to the gadabout.blogspot.com. Okay, so the most recent post, the last post was the Land of Many Zeds. And let's go ahead and look at this concept. If you click on the title of the blog post, then see how this was made in 2011, the 8th month, and originally she probably titled it, oh look, the name of this picture is Victoria Falls from the Zambia side, and so that's what it titled this post. For whatever reason, that's the title. That's the blog link address. So that's the specific address for this blog post. And you don't have to know about specific addresses, but you just need to recognize, okay, I'm not on the main page of the blog. I'm on a specific post. And you barely even need to know that, but sometimes that's helpful. Certainly if a classmate asks you, where is the post that you did for session 4? It could be that you go to your blog, you find it, you click on the blog post, and you send them this direct link. That's why it's useful. All right, so let me go back to the top level of this blog. Now, I think we've thoroughly talked about the fact, probably more than you need to know, that blogs have a basic web address. They also, specific posts have all this extra stuff added to them. That's good to know. Usually you can find a blog archive. So let's go see if we can find a blog archive on here. There's a couple other widgets here. We've got a followers widget. That's not really useful to us. There's a search this blog widget here. And here's a blog archive. So hopefully somewhere near the top 12 inches of the blog, you'll see a blog archive thing. But remember, you don't always see that. So we can look here that she made posts in 2011 and 2010. She made 55 in 2010, 21 in 2011. If we click on these little carrots, we can expand or collapse this to explore. So if I want to look in 2010, I can expand that. I can go into August, and I see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4. These are 4 posts. Night ferries are better than night buses was this post. Let's click on it and just take a quick look. So night ferries are better than night buses. Notice how we've got the main link plus all this other stuff is added to it. And this page only has this one post. All right, so that's how you navigate the blog archive. Now, in the case of this class, all you're going to need to do is visit the level associated with 2014, and then you'll probably have a post in January or maybe a post in February that you look at. So maybe 2 posts in February, maybe a couple posts in March, and then you're done. So it's going to be very simple, a very simple blog archive. It would be just a few lines, a year and a couple of months with items. So that's one way to navigate the blog. Then the other way that I had mentioned, let me make sure I'm going in order so that I keep this very sort of clear. So if you don't see that blog archive, you can scroll down. So let's just do a little scrolling down and see how many posts this blog has on it on the main page. So remember, you can go to the main page of the blog and you can scroll down. Newest posts are on the top. All right, so here's her Saturday, August the 6th post. So let's just kind of scroll down a little bit. All right, quickly on this one, we got to the next post, July 19th. That was my birthday. All right, scroll down, down to July 14th. There's a 3rd post. A 4th post, July 1. A 5th post. A 6th post. A 7th post. And then that's all she's got on her homepage. And normally, this is sort of a default setting for Blogger, I think, is that down here you can click older posts. and it'll take you to a second page now. So you can just keep doing the same thing. We're now on page 2, and it looks like the blog archive is even following us and telling us. Isn't that interesting? It knows that we're in May of 2011 and it's got it open to that area. So that's kind of cool. I've never noticed that before. You can click older posts and let's see what the blog archive does just for fun. And now it's got it open in April because it knows that on this page we're in the month of April, because that's the top post was in April. All right, so I think I've talked extensively about this. Let's see, what was another point I made here? You should be able to navigate the blog using that top link. If you really cannot find a post, though, if it's so badly organized and the person's deleted all the helpful widgets that help you navigate that blog, then it might be useful to email them in the class and ask for some help to find their post. All right, thanks, and let me know if you have any other questions.